Hello and welcome back to my channel. It's Insecticide here, and we're going to talk about my personal build for Diablo 4 Hardcore. Hardcore is very hard. You cannot predict what to do in this case because everyone has played only until level 25. So nobody knows actually how hard will be Hardcore, but at least we know from our past experiences in our other games like this. And if you have not played games like this, for example Pass of Exile, games like that in Hardcore are unpredictable, and you may get bumped into a wall of resists and other instant damages that can kill you. I'm quite sure that Diablo will have the same mechanics like Pass of Exile in on the release. And what we're gonna see here is that most of the people, when they are using Corpse Explosion, they are using as a core skill Bone Splinters. So this skill, if we read it carefully, Bone Splinters, it fires 3 bones, dealing 8% damage each subsequent time an enemy is hit by the same cast of Bone Splinters, right? So it's a nice damaging spell, but does it generate corpses? I mean, do you make any corpses around you? If you bump into a single target enemy, if you bump into a really hard boss that is single target, that is not spawning minions, or if he's spawning his minions, he's spawning like 1 or 2 at a time, then you run into a corpse problem. You don't have corpses. So in order to generate corpses, you will need Decompose. So it's very simple reason why. So you tear the flesh from an enemy, dealing 30% damage per second and forming a usable corpse with the flesh every 2.5 seconds. So every 2.5 seconds you are generating a corpse, which means lots of corpse explosions, right? So we go in this build simply with this guy, and then we take, if an enemy dies while decomposed, you gain 10 essence, because you lose a lot of essence while using your Blight spell, which will be our next spell here. So we take enhanced decompose here, and there is a nice choice here. You can either slow enemy and build up on that by slowing enemy and making some crowd control. You will deal more damage with other aspects that you will take and stuff like that. But instead we're gonna go for the increased minion damage, because your minions do a lot of damage when you are choosing your target. For example, imagine this scenario where there is a pack of like 5 or 6 mobs, and like one or 2 of them are elites. So you want to focus on that elite, right? So if you are decomposing that elite mob, then your minion's gonna focus him and do like tons of damage. So we take it here. So for now we do not rank our decompose up, and we simply go here and choose our Blight ability, right? The Blight ability is very strong early on in the game, and we try to take it, and what it does is unleashes a concentrated blight that deals 30% damage and leaves behind a defiled area, dealing 80% damage over 6 seconds. So this Blight ability, you can it's perfect opener. For example, you see like a pack of, I don't know, 12 or 20 mobs, you just shoot 1 or 2 blights and start decomposing, getting some corpses, and then making some corpse explosions. Okay, so we take this Blight. Also, slowing enemies, because we don't need slow here, we take slow here, right? Okay, and then you and your minions deal 15% increased damage to enemies within Blight, or Blight has a 30% chance to immobilize targets. We don't need immobilization, we just need more damage. So let's scale on the damage. Okay, after that, as soon as you open Corpse Explosion, which is opened here, you take Corpse Explosion as fast as possible, and then you simply take Corpse Explosion radius is increased, of course, and Blighted Corpse Explosion. Now this is where your character is becoming very strong. Blighted Corpse Explosion is making your Corpse Explosion, instead of just a simple explosion, it will spawn a pool with a giant radius, like black pool of darkness, that is literally shredding and, how to explain, decomposing also enemies into like dust. So it's very strong ability that we need to utilize, and we need to power up on as fast as possible. So we take this Blighted Corpse Explosion, and then from here you have two choices. You can either maximize your Blight and then maximize your Corpse Explosion, or you can maximize your Corpse Explosion and then maximize your Blight. Also, you will need this little passive ability, which gives you Lucky Hit. Your damage has up to 4% chance to create even more corpses at the target location. So I think that instead of taking Corpse Explosion to the max and Blight to the max, you just take Hued Flesh all the way to the max, so you have a 12% chance to spawn in even more corpses on location here, right? And then after taking this, you maximize your Corpse Explosion to the max, and then you maximize your Blight. Okay, now you have really strong opener, and now you have tons of damage. Also, you are spawning more corpses, and then this Blight is also spawning your corpse every 2.5 seconds. So we go here to the next curse skills, and there is a lot of talk about which curse skill is preferable. Do we prefer to take Iron Maiden or Decrepify? Some people even take both of them. Some take like Iron Maiden and Decrepify together. They curse the ground with both of the spells, and they like maximize their potential. But instead of doing that, we will simply take Decrepify. And why? It curses the target enemy afflicted by Decrepify are slowed for 40% damage and deal 20% less damage. So slow is not very interesting for us, but 20% less damage for whole pack, it's very nice, convenient choice, because we are literally like flat destroying 20% of damage of any mob that is hit by this. And this one has a really big radius, and it hits everyone in a pack, and you are literally safer there. Okay, we take this, we put 1 point here, and then you can like maximize this. Enemies hit while afflicted with Decrepify have 10% chance to be stunned. Yeah, this is a nice choice. You can take it. And the enemies hit while afflicted with Decrepify have up to 15% chance to reduce your active cooldowns. This is bullshit for us. We don't need this. And Horrid Decrepify. When you and your minions hit an afflicted Decrepify below 10% life, they are instantly killed. Now this is very interesting here. So what this means, you can put Decrepify, and there is a 10% chance. No, there is a chance. I'm sorry. That not a chance. No, it's flat. Yeah, I'm sorry. So your minions will kill anyone who will have less HP than 10%. So do we need this? I mean, 10%. I mean, when you have like tons of Corpse Explosions, when you have like Blight, when you are decomposing everything, I mean, you will kill them anyway. So you don't need to worry about this. So you can see, like, maybe you want this, maybe you don't, but I personally recommend you to simply stay on here, just simply Decrepify, because Necromancer as a class itself is very dependent on gear. So if you feel that you need extra damage, you need this extra hit of 10% life, extra like finisher or something like that, then okay. But if you feel that you are strong, if your gear is doing right, and you are like lucky enough to get some legendaries and stuff like that, then Horrid Decrepify is kind of waste. Okay, so let's go to the down here. So here is very simple. You simply take Corpse Tendrils, okay, and then enemies who are in range of Corpse Tendrils are slowed for 50% before pulled. So this spell pulls the pack in. So it pulls the pack in, and you take this with it. So when you put this spell, it has it needs some time to like spread out and then pull in. So while it is spreading out, some mobs may leave the place. So by choosing this, they have a slow, so they won't get away. Okay. Another modifier for this is enemies damaged by corpse tendrils are vulnerable. Okay, and another one is corpse tendrils have 30% chance to drop a blood orb when damaging enemies. This is very safe. This is very safe, but we don't need this. We only need this slow effect. What we need is this one here, is Reaper Pursuit. So damaging enemies with darkness skills increases your movement speed by 5% for 3 seconds. So we don't need movement speed here. I mean, yes, Necromancer is not a mobile class, but you have so much minions that are serving you, literally, that are on your side. You are very kind of in a defensive stance. So no, it's not very easy to come up to you and kill you. So you just put one spell here in order to open this too. And here you take Gloom. When you damage enemies with darkness skills, they take 2% increased shadow damage from you and your minions for 2 seconds, stacking up 3 times. This is very strong, and we take it all the way to the 3 points. And what this means, it will stack for 6. So this means that 6, 12, and 18. So you literally do 18% more damage from your darkness skills, and most of your skills are darkness skills, right? You take Decompose and you take Blight. That's why we don't take where is it? Bone Splitters here, because it's a bone spell. It's a not darkness spell. Somebody will say, yeah, you can transform bone skills into darkness skills. No, we don't need it. We just go here. Okay, so next one is the Terror. Darkness skills deal 3% more damage to enemies who are slowed and 3% bonus damage to enemies who are stunned or immobilized. These bonus stack to apply to shadow damage dealt by your minions. So you remember, your tendrils are slowing enemies, your blight is slowing enemies, so we take this all the way to the max. Okay, next, Crippling Darkness. Lucky hit. Darkness skills have up to 50% chance to stun for 1 second. Okay, let's see this until 3 seconds. Okay, if we take this after this, you also are sometimes stunning people, and this Terror is even doing more damage. Okay, let's go down here. We don't need other spells here. And here is very interesting. So you can either play with Army of Dead, or you can forget about your ultimate. It sounds very weird. Oh, weird, I know. Oh my god, without ultimate, what I'm gonna do? It's very simple. You just maximize your other skills here, like passives. And you passively become strong as hell. Like, look, increase the damage and life of your golem. Okay, this is really cool. He's defensive, he's tanky, he's defending you, okay? Next, stand alone, increase damage reduction by 6%, reduced for 2% for each active minion. So, okay, this is very defensive. Sacrifice both skeletal warriors, and no, we don't need this. But this is very, very, very interesting. After you have you have been healthy for 4 seconds, you and your minions gain 4% attack speed. Okay, this is nice. And every 5 seconds, your skeletal priest healing will heal your skeletons for additional 20%. This is what is very interesting. Instead of taking ultimate, you just need to constantly heal your minions, because instead of taking this where are those? Just give me a moment. Yeah, skeletal. I have seen that most of the Blight, Corpse Explosion Necromancers are playing with skeletal defenders because they are tanky. But instead, what we're gonna do, we're gonna play with skeletal reapers, because they have tons of damage. They deals area damage with a slow and powerful skite, and has a special wind up attack that dealing heavy damage. Okay, so it is immobilizing also targets, and also reapers have 50% chance to carve the flesh of enemies and form a corpse. So corpses are very interesting for us, as we remember, right? Because we have Corpse Explosion. So okay, let's go down here and make them stronger. Okay, because by healing with our skeletal priest, we are defending our reapers and not letting them die. Okay, we maximize this. Okay, your minions cannot lose more than 75% of their maximum life from a single damage instance. So what we do here, why we are taking this, we are literally making our reapers tanky so they won't die. because early on in the game Reapers are strong anyway, and later on in the game there will be more single target damage, more like one-shot damages, and you need to defend your Reapers, right? Okay, so what we have here is after you have been healthy, okay, and here your minions deal 10% increased damage while you are close to them. This is very interesting. So we put 1 point here and 3 points here. And why? Because your minions deal 30% increased damage while you are close to them. So it's a flat 30% damage for minions, which is very big. Okay, so down here we simply take Shadow Blight. Shadow damage infects enemies with Shadow Blight for 2 seconds. You and your minions deal 10% bonus damage to enemies with Shadow Blight every 10th time an enemy receives shadow damage from you or your minions while they are affected by Shadow Blight. They take an additional 20% damage. So this is in general making you have a bigger stuff in your pants, right? Okay, so we take this. And what we are left with. So we are left with some points. You go back all the way up here, okay, and find this very interesting spell. Consuming Corpse generates 3 essence. Okay, we take this, we explode more corpses. So from Corpse Explosions and Decompose, we are shooting more blights. Okay, and here you deal increased damage for 6 seconds after consuming a corpse. You can take this early on in the game instead of like going all the way here. You can take this early on in the game and then come back here. Okay. And what we can do next is come back here and put the rest of the points into Decompose. So we have 3 points left, and those 3 points are depending on what type of gameplay you are playing and what is happening to you. But for example, you can put in Unliving Energy, which makes your maximum essence increase, and your core skills cost 3% more essence but deal 5% increased damage. So you can maximize this essence here, like this. And it means that your core skill, your Blight, deals 10% even more damage, right? Which is very interesting. You can go here, or you can simply maximize your essence, and that's about it. You have a very nice, strong, corpse exploding, blight dealing, destroying, disgusting, decomposing necromancer that is literally spreading plague and decay and death all over the map. Okay, so about the minions. Minions are very simple. You just go for the skeletal reapers, as we said, and you take reapers that have 50% chance to carve the flesh of enemies, as we already said, to form more corpses. You need to form more corpses because later on in the game, when you face the bosses, you need more corpses. Okay. About the mages, it's very simple, but I need to test this more because we had the opportunity to play only until level 25, and I could not simply test which one would fit more. Some say that bone mages are better, but no, I think shadow mages are dealing a lot of nice damage, and shadow mages have like this very interesting stuff that they have a chance to stun. And you remember, if you have a stun, you deal more damage. Okay, just give me a moment. Right here we put increased damage to enemies that are slowed and stunned. Okay, wait, take this. Yeah, I took 1 point. Okay, so yeah, you can increase the damage in life, or you can amplify curse. Yeah, we can put it here. Why not? You need to play with it. It's very dependent on your gear. Okay, so let's go for the golems now. I think that Iron Golem is the very nice choice here, because it's literally, you have an active spell to command your golem to go to the targeted area and then become unstoppable and slam their fists into the ground, dealing 25% damage and stunning surrounding enemies for 3 seconds. This has 60% cooldown. This is very, very strong ability. And through the upgrade, you have every 5th attack Iron Golem attacks. It causes a shockwave that dealing 30% damage to the primary enemy and to enemies behind them. So it's like AoE spell, which is really nice. Okay, so let's move on to the aspects. Aspects are very interesting. I mean, it depends how lucky you are. But in this case, what I have chosen is this one. So since we are planning to survive hardcore and be strong in survivability, aspects are the place where we are gaining survivability. So becoming injured while crowd controlled grants you unstoppable for 4 seconds. This effect lasts has a 24 to 42% cooldown, unlocked by completing Caldera's Gate in Fractured Peaks. Okay, so what this does, we need to understand what is injured first. Injured is when your character is on 35% health. So whenever your health is on 35%, you are becoming injured, and it's very dangerous for you to simply die. So how does it happen? I mean, how does injured happen? It's just you are slowly decaying with your health? No. In most of the time in games like Path of Exile and Diablo and games like this, it happens instantly, especially if you are playing hardcore. It happens like you are getting frozen, you can't move, you instantly get like tons of mobs on you, and you get tons of damage and you're gonna die. But simply, how to defend ourselves from that is this aspect. So as soon as this aspect will see that, oh, you know, it's 35% health, you are injured, boom, you are unstoppable, which means that you can move freely through mobs and do whatever you want for 4 seconds. So it's literally like, I don't know if you have played World of Warcraft, it's like Medallion for PvP. Okay, it's like letting you out of the crowd control. Okay, then another thing is Blight Defiled Area, when spawned and pulls in enemies around the effect area. So what this means, that Blight, this our core skill, is also pulling in people inside of it. So not only you are just dealing tons of damage with Blight, you are simply not letting anyone go out of it. So you are like this, I don't know how to say it in English. It's a ground that sucks you in, you know, in a jungle. It's hard to explain. Okay, rotting aspect is a very nice aspect here, which is making your decompose shine here. So your decompose can chain up to 2 additional targets, and when decompose spawns a corpse, it has a 30 to 60% chance to spawn a corpse under all afflicted targets. So look, your decompose is spawning a corpse. So now after you take this aspect, your decompose goes to 2 additional targets. So you are decomposing 3 targets at the same time. You are generating tons of essence at this moment. And also you have 30 to 60% chance to generate even more corpses, which is making you tons of strong. It's very, very important aspect to have in this build. And also we go for the aspect of the Embalmer. Consuming a corpse has a 20 to 30% chance to spawn a blood orb. This is very nice to have a survivability in a hardcore. Since you are consuming corpses because you are corpse exploding everyone, you have a chance, pretty high chance, by 20 to 30% to spawn blood orbs. And blood orbs heal you, which is very important in hardcore. Okay, next is a Ghostwalker aspect, which means that while you are unstoppable and for 2 seconds, okay, after you gain plus 10 to 25% increased movement speed, and you can move freely through enemies. So what this means, when we said, you remember, we said that we take this, becoming injured makes you unstoppable, right? So here we are making our unstoppable even stronger. While unstoppable, you have 2 seconds after you gain 10 to 25% increased movement speed and move. This is important. you can move freely through enemies. So you ignore enemy collision and you go through mobs, which is literally like amplification of eluding aspect, which we took here, and it makes us even stronger and even more safer in hardcore scenario. Okay, now we go here with aspect of reanimation. Your skeletons gain increased damage while alive up to 20 to 30% after 10 seconds. So a lot of there is a lot of moments that we just walk around with our skeletons, and for sure they are alive more than 10 seconds. So you are literally giving them 20 to 30% more damage, and that's why we took this one here, right? Where was it? The healing. Yeah, there we go. So every 5 seconds your skeletal priest, which we are spawning, healing will heal your skeletons for 60% of their maximum health, and also your minions can't lose more than 45% of their maximum life from a single damage instance. So this will be making our skeletals more alive. I mean, more survival. They have more survivability, right? And through this, we are also giving them even more damage, right? After decompose spawns a corpse, gain 10 to 20 essence. So we are generating even more essence by generating corpses, right? Which we need. We need a lot of essence to shoot even more blights, right? Because blight is a spender. Okay, here is very interesting. I mean, you can try to find this ring, but okay, I mean, if you won't, it's okay. But in general, it's very, 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 very nice ring, which is called Ring of Starless Skies. Each consecutive core skill cast reduces the resource cost of your next core skill by 5 to 10% up to maximum 30%. So it means that we can even shoot more blights by generating more corpses and more essence. We shoot more blights, and then with this ring we are even reducing the cost of blight shots, so we not losing too much essence, and we generate more essence, and we shoot even more blights and decomposing everything around us, and corpse exploding, and etc. Right, okay. And it's very important to get this weapon, which is called Black River. It's a corpse explosion, consumes up to 4 additional corpses. Now this is important here, look. Around the initial corpse, dealing 122 to 130% increased damage, and with 21 to 25% larger radius per additional corpse. So this weapon is literally making you a Terminator. It's making you like giant poop of Jesus or something like that. Okay, let's imagine how it works. So yeah, it's consuming a lot of corpses, but since we built up all of our aspects and everything here on generating even more corpses, what's the problem? We can blow up all of those corpses together, generate a lot of blighted corpse explosions, a lot of blights around it, and that's it. You have even more radius and even more damage. Okay, so this sums up our build. I'm not going to this section here, which is Paragon, because nobody on the internet understands this board completely, and it's, I think, complete bullshit to talk about this I don't know what to say, table or Paragon table or whatever this is. It's pointless to talk about this. You can see like tons of videos on YouTube of people talking about put points here, put points here. I mean, how do they know? I mean, it's just they are just assuming and randomly talking. Even my build is assumption, because after this you don't know how this works. But this is like I don't want to force you, because choices here are very important, and if you do something wrong here, you may bump up into my video later on and you just take points here, and you can't change anything, and you just get lots of shit. So we don't need this, because it's better to let the game like open up to us on release date, and we get more knowledge about this and we talk about this more. Because right now, all of the stuff that people are talking about this is like, we don't have prime information on how to work here, okay? Some may disagree with me, but I don't think so. Okay, thank you for your attention, and subscribe to my channel, stay up to date, and I will have more upcoming videos about Diablo 4 and other games too. Have a nice day.